a white man, killed another white man. And what did that do? Make the people mad at black people. How did that happen?
This is the place to be, this is the place. Sexy life. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn it gray. Become a part of my game.
Hey man, say man, welcome to another reaction video. It's your girl Sexy Lexi. Welcome y'all. Y'all make sure to hit that like, comment, and hit the subscribe button right here. Yeah, right here. I'll wait. Okay. You subscribe, right? Okay, bet. So y'all, it's been a little minute. I definitely had to jump on this this topic. Right now, today's date is the 16th, y'all. It is the 16th. So a lot has been going on in September so far. It's only the middle of the month. Only the middle of the month, and so many things that happen as natural disasters, tragedies, all type of traumatic things that have happened. So much trauma, so much death, so much just what's going on in the world today, y'all. So I just wanted to kind of go over everything that's going on. So let's just talk about it. So first off, everybody done heard about Charlie Kirk. Everybody done heard about Charlie Kirk. Before I actually heard about Charlie Kirk, y'all, I did not know who he was. I had probably seen a couple of videos here and there when he was debating people, but I just didn't know who he was. I did not know how big he was on YouTube. He had a really big following, and he created a lot of controversy around himself. But I definitely seen a video of what happened when he was talking, and it's kind of crazy once I actually looked into what he was talking about. He was actually defending gun violence when he got shot. But that's nothing, neither here nor there. But yeah, a whole lot of things going on with Charlie Kirk. I ended up looking at some of his I looked at some of his videos. I did not agree with a lot of things he said. I don't agree with a lot of the ways that he thought, but that I won't try to take the man's life because we don't agree on the same things. But you know, I have no idea, y'all. It's been so many things that's been going on. It's crazy. So let's get into that. Let's get into Charlie Kirk a little bit right now, and then after that we're gonna talk more about what has been happening since September started, because it's only the 16th. Y'all, did y'all know that they had a white man that was at the rally that said that he was the shooter just so the actual shooter could get away? Crazy. And then there's this big conversation going on Twitter, because I'm a Twitter girl, so I be on Twitter. I really know how y'all feel. I know how all these people feel about us, so it is what it is. And before the Charlie Kirk situation, do y'all remember what happened before that? Let's dig up into y'all brains, because y'all know we have a short attention span. Let's get it together, everybody. So I'm not sure, I don't want to say her name incorrect, but I think her name is Elena. Ayana or Elena. I think it's Ayana, the Ukraine refugee that ended up getting stabbed to death on the train. I'm not sure where that happened. I heard that it happened in North Carolina, but I'm not pretty sure. So we're gonna figure out with that. First of all, that was extremely sad. The entire world was enraged when it came to black people, when it came to mental health. And then a couple days later, what happened? A white man killed another white man. And what did that do? Make the people mad at black people. How did that happen? Please let me know, how did that happen? Where did that come from? How did y'all get that? How did y'all start saying y'all? It was actually not a y'all, it was a him. It was a one man, and it was a one white man, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I don't know. I be trying not to get on certain topics because I don't want to build controversy around myself. But no, And then another thing, y'all, I found out, I didn't know because I heard through the grapevine, but Charlie Kirk's best friend was a black woman, but then he felt like black women couldn't think for themselves. All right, let's go to the next topic, y'all. If y'all have anything else to say about this Charlie Kirk topic, y'all make sure to put RIP. I really feel bad for his wife and his family. He did have 2 children, so they have to live without their father. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So rest in peace to him, and my condolences to his family and his friends. So next topic, because I don't want to stay on that too long, but let's talk about some natural disasters that have happened in September so far. This is only September, y'all. We're only talking about things that happened in September. So we had an earthquake in Afghanistan. It was a magnitude of 6.0. It struck Afghanistan and nearly the city of Jabalabad, and that was the 1st of September. They came in hard. September came in hard, bro. Like, what's up, September? Like, I just been feeling like September been a good month, but when you look at the world, like, September is coming to shake some shit up. Like, what's up? So it's been 2,200 people that lost their life in that earthquake. Then they had some floods in India. They had several flash floods out of nowhere, just out of nowhere. Killed over 30 people. Killed over 30 people across North India and a couple of other regions. They also had floods in Indonesia. At least 25 people were reported dead or missing due to the flooding in Bali and East Nusa Tenggara. I know I chopped that, but I'm giving you news, okay? They also had floods in Pakistan, y'all. There's floods everywhere. Floods. It's been raining like crazy. Weather, don't know what it wants to do. It's bipolar as fuck. But hey, it is what it is. Then we had a Hurricane Helene. It was a recovery. So the federal request for funding had been made for the long-term recovery of the western North Carolina, which was devastated by the Hurricane Helene in late 2024. And it's been tied to climate change. I don't understand why they're talking about climate change so much now. The climate been changing, and they didn't want to believe in climate change. So, another thing that's been going on. They have wildfires in New Mexico. Wildfires? That's insane. And it was affected by the recent flooding and wildfires. So these are a couple other things that's going on. So in Gaza and Israel, they have airstrikes in Gaza, and it's resulted in a dozen of deaths, including like 65 people were killed in strikes of a school, refugee tents, and homes. They also had a targeted strike in Qatar. It was the airstrikes on the Hamas leadership's office of the Doha, the Qatar, and resulting in deaths of 5 Hamas members. Wow. And a member of the Qatari security force. Wow. Wow. Okay, so they also had another thing to report. I'm gonna try my best, y'all, to find these videos that I'm talking about and kind of put up the information while I'm talking about it. But they had several accidents has been reported in September. A firework accident up in Tuska, Oklahoma, resulted in the death of a 13-year-old boy. In Richmond Hill, Georgia, a car crashed into a daycare, killing a toddler and several others, leading to discussions about improving safety measures at daycares. So do they need the barriers that they have at Walmart at the fucking daycares? What the hell? Transportation accidents, including train bus collision in Alcalacamaco, Mexico, which killed at least 10 people and injured 41 people. I'm gonna cut that, y'all, because I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna put it right here. They also had an accident in Portugal, killing 16 people and injuring 2. It was a follicular. I don't know if I'm saying that correct. In India, 6 people died with the cable wire on a ropeway snapped on the temple. Additionally, the boat capsizing accidents occurred in Nigeria, where a vessel on the Niger River capsized over 100 passengers, killing at least 60. And in Ivory Coast, where a boat on the Sandra River capsized after the encounter with a hippopotamus, leaving 11 people missing. Wow. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna just get into a few videos so I can have a little here and there going over what else been happening in September, because this is just sad to read. And then before I get to it, there's also, I found out during Memorial Weekend we had in Georgia, they had over 15 deaths when it came to car accidents. That was one thing. And then they also had something else in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken, that something else happened where a couple of people had passed. It's just crazy, people. It's just crazy. So let's watch the very first video and let's get into it, y'all.
If we take a look at radar, we can see a fire hose of moisture coming.
Do we have a surprise tropical storm on the East Coast? I'm meteorologist Andrew Markowitz, and here's everything you need to know. Taking a look at satellite, we can see a low pressure system spinning counterclockwise off the coast of Virginia and North Carolina. If we take a look at radar, we can see a fire hose of moisture coming into the mid-Atlantic, especially in Virginia. But notice how in the center of the storm, there actually appears to be an eye. Even so, the NHC has not indicated any probabilities for tropical development, and I suspect the reason why is because it's a cold core storm as opposed to warm core. An example of a cold core storm is a nor'easter, and they can look and behave similarly to hurricanes, but it's an entirely different classification. Regardless, the problem with this storm is that it's surrounded by high pressure in all directions, especially to its north, meaning that our storm is trapped for the next couple days. As a result, we will continue to see bands of rain and thunderstorms filtering in, which could be moderate to heavy at times. Areas in red in Virginia and North Carolina could see between 2 and 4 inches of rain, while the yellow zone could see between 4 or perhaps as much as 6-7 inches. This poses a threat for flash flooding, most likely in this yellow zone. If nothing else, this is a good reminder that a storm doesn't need to be particularly strong or even named to be impactful. If you recall, last year, a few weeks before Helene, there actually was an unnamed storm that brought a lot of flooding to North Carolina, and that is why we take every storm seriously on this channel. For more updates on the storm and other severe weather all around the world, please make sure to follow me on all.
You guys remember when I predicted this? Have you heard what's happening? Take a look at this.
Dude, apparently there is a new COVID variant that is now spreading fast across the US, and people are literally calling it razor blade throat. So the official name of this new variant is now called NB181, but it's being nicknamed Nimbus or razor blade throat because people are saying that the sore throat is so incredibly painful that they're comparing it to swallowing shattered glass. And this is spreading quickly. They're saying that by early summer it made up 1/3 of all US cases, and now the CDC is saying that it's the dominant strain in 45 different states, accounting for nearly half of all infections.
So 45 states, cases rising rapidly. What do you guys think about this? Is this another correct prediction? Does it really matter at this point? Make sure to follow if you want someone that's pretty damn good at predicting the future, and you can always message me for personal predictions. If you are worried about any of the symptoms, here they are here. Check yourself out, make sure you're safe, and follow for more predictions like this.
All right, so a lot of developing news today, September the 14th, 2025, as we are hearing that there are Russian nuclear bombers in air, World War III warnings coming out in the past couple of hours from U.S. members of Congress, not just members of NATO. And we're hearing that the entire world is preparing for global conflict. Let me share with you the latest headlines.
Today, we're going to talk about the news that isn't being shown to you in the United States. Just yesterday, Saturday, September 13th, 2025, Polish airspace, airport on the eastern flank with Ukraine, had to shut down again, and fighter jets had to be scrambled to go and protect Polish airspace from potential drones coming in from Russia. There was a schmack in Ukraine, and Poland was worried about an incursion again, and so NATO scrambled some jets and protected Polish airspace. But that's not all. In addition to Poland, Romania had an incursion from Russian The news drones. Is reporting that in Romania, Russian drones made an incursion into Romanian airspace, and the Ministry of Defense warned the citizenry to take cover, as well as scrambling 2 F-16s and 2 German fighter planes doing missions in Romania to go and basically try to shoot it down or to follow it. They stuck with it until it ended up off radar. But this is now the second incursion of a NATO member by Russian drones. And I already mentioned it. Article 4 was already invoked of NATO, which is basically that everybody's going to meet together and we're going to talk about it. Article 4 is necessary before you can call Article 5. Article 4 is just like, how do we fix this? What do we think's going on? What can we do? Well, they decided to go on the defensive. They were going to shore up the eastern flank. Cool. But now we've had just yesterday, right, just last night, a threat of an incursion in Poland, scrambling jets of NATO, and an incursion into Romania, all with Russian drones under the guise of, whoops, we didn't mean to, it was an accident. Except, is it? If you saw my other video, there was like, what if the last 48 hours weren't what we have been told? This is a test. This is a test of NATO. This is a test of Trump. This is a test. And the coalition is failing. If you didn't follow along last week when the French told their hospitals to prepare for war as early as March of next year, they needed to be at operational capacity to service 10,000 to 15,000 people by March of next year for an attack that could happen within 10 to 180 days. With everything that is happening all over the world, it is more important than ever to make sure that you and your family are prepared. Grab this bug-in guide right here because it has all of the information that you need on how to fortify your house, what to buy, what kind of supplies, etc. That is by no means all of the news or all of the things that have happened recently.
I'm calling all 340 million United States citizens to action. It's time for a blackout. September the 17th is Constitution Day.
I want to queue up a video that...
This is not a drill. It's September 15th, 15 more days until the state of Michigan shuts down. I blame this entirely on House Republicans. Why am I blaming them? Because they are in the majority. And this week we received our agenda for the week of bills that we're going to be voting on, and none of them are budget bills. They did pass their version of the budget last month, but they have yet to make any negotiation progress with the Michigan Senate and the governor's office. Negotiations are not going very well, and state departments are already submitting their emergency shutdown plans. Each department has to submit emergency shutdown plans on which employees they're going to let go of and what programs they are going to cut, what services they are going to cut in the case of a state government shutdown. If the state of Michigan shuts down, none of our staff will get paid. State of Michigan employees may not get paid, and only essential services will continue to operate. That includes the National Guard, the state police, and the state Supreme Court judges. Last year, when Michigan Democrats were in the majority in the House, we passed our budget before July 1st, and the budget was signed by there be a shutdown, because on September 30th, there is no money that is appropriated in the state of Michigan beyond that day. Our fiscal year starts on October 1st. 2025 and runs through the next year, September 30th, 2026. The legislature has to pass budget bills, and they have to be signed into law by the governor in order for the state treasury to disperse any funding. Republicans are going to blame Senate Democrats and Democrats in the House, but don't let them fool you. They are in the majority in the Michigan House. They have the power to discharge bills to the floor for a vote. When they did do their budget bills last month, they cut out $5 billion in essential services and then said that it was fraud or that we had phantom jobs. The waste, fraud, and abuse that they were talking about was $3 billion in Medicaid cuts, $1.1 billion in cuts to LEO, the Labor Economic Opportunity Department, and $1 billion from the Department of Health and Human Services. These are programs that children, mothers, pregnant women, parents, seniors, and veterans rely on, and that is what they are referring to as waste, fraud, and abuse. Because the unemployment agency is inside Leo, that agency would be operating at a very bare minimum. And if you've ever had to deal with unemployment, you know how long those waits are. Without staff working there, those waits are going to be even longer. So for these employees who are going to be laid off or furloughed, they're going to have a hard time applying for unemployment and getting a response promptly. So this is a catch-22. If you guys know me as a person, you would know that I always take personal responsibility, that I am only responsible for my actions. But in this case right now, I blame House Republicans and all Republicans. This is not a natural disaster. We are not in a pandemic. We are in an economic crisis. Instead of House Republicans finding ways for us to fill the gap because of all of these federal cuts, they are actively trying to doge our state budget. They're trying to do everything that the Trump administration and Republicans in Congress are doing. That is why we are in the situation that we are in today. They spent the past 9 months passing unserious, ridiculous legislation like trying to rename the Gulf of Mexico, banning certain people from using school bathrooms, and a bunch of other bills that really, frankly, do not make our lives any better. Don't let them fool you. Share this message, save it, comment at least 5 words, and double tap to like it.
Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here. Breaking news, there is
a series of consumer spending boycotts aimed at protesting.
September 10th, 2025 is going down in history as one of the craziest days of all time. Civil unrest around the world, in Nepal, in France, in the US, more school shootings, of course. Charlie Kirk, a public figure being shot over opinions, and the crazy conspiracy behind that and why he might have been killed. Life found on Mars? I don't know about all that, but... And some guy made $100 billion in 1 hour. The conflicts between Poland and Russia? It was one of those days where if you put your phone down for 10 minutes, you missed out on like some groundbreaking news. Stay safe out there and stay vigilant.
I hear the train coming.
Y'all keep calling me crazy, but Bank of America just confirmed what I've been saying. They're wanting about 41 trillion fleeing the U.S. economy. Trillion with a T. And if you think that doesn't touch you, you're asleep. Investors always move first. And I've been telling y'all from the jump since April. They don't wait on CNN. They don't wait on your favorite influencer. And they sure as hell don't wait for you to wake up. By the time you see this headline, doors are already locked. That's why I've been telling you, stop moving on vibes. Start moving with a plan. Link in bio. Tools are there. Or stay broke and blindsided. Your choice.
Why did Joe Biden put Jerome Powell in? Let's go back to when Joe Biden appointed Jerome Powell and see what Joe Biden said about him.
It is my pleasure and my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. He's strong, he's committed, he's smart.
Wow.
Man, Joe Biden looks bad as shit.
Right, some major earthquakes hitting. I'm going to share with you the latest as we're hearing about 7.4, 7.1s, 5.8 magnitude earthquakes hitting over and over and over in succession. And in addition to that, tsunami warnings being triggered and some pretty interesting things coming out from scientists. That's fascinating. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so you can see it for yourself here. Now, Russia hit with 4 earthquakes today in short succession. This coming out today, September 15th, 2025. 7.4 magnitude earthquake strikes near the east coast of Russia's Kamchatka region. There was no immediate reports of injuries or major damage. Magnitude 7.1 earthquake strikes near the east coast of Russia's Kamchatka region. The Pacific Tsunami Warning System said there was a threat of possible tsunami from the earthquake. We're hearing about new tsunami warnings that were issued as a result of these earthquakes hitting in Russia. And take a look at this. This is very fascinating. Now, mapping Kamchatka earthquake displacement, we're hearing that the Kamchatka island actually has shifted as a result of these powerful earthquakes that are shaking. But that's not all. They're actually saying if you feel like the days are getting shorter, well, you might actually be right. In fact, not only was the island shifted, they're saying the axis of the Earth might have wobbled, and we might might be seeing slightly shorter days as a result of the earthquakes that are shaking the earth. Absolutely fascinating. They're saying the days might actually be getting shorter as a result of the shaking from these massive earthquakes. Let me know your thoughts. You feel like time is moving faster? Well, take a look at this. We're hearing as well that scientists are saying that the tectonic plate movement, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the tsunami threats, everything that's occurring, they're saying the geomagnetic storms that are taking place from the sun's coronal mass ejections could be causing it. And I let you know about this as soon as we had seen those reports issued out back in March of 2025. They're saying the sun is causing the earth to tremble. Let me know your thoughts. Now, in addition to that, take a look at this coming out yesterday. India's northeast is hit by a 5.8 magnitude earthquake, but no damage has been reported, but yet another massive earthquake we're seeing in another part of the world. In addition to that, a 3.7 magnitude earthquake jolts San Luis Obispo County. Earthquake, first earthquake of the month, rumbles under part of South Carolina. That's felt lots of tremors recently. A 3.6 magnitude earthquake felt across San Diego County. And also take a look coming out today, a 2.4 magnitude earthquake shakes near Hopeville, California, September the 15th, 2025. And all you got to do right now is Google search earthquake and you will see 7.4, 6.0, 5.5, 5.4, all within roughly the last, right, some major earthquake.
Whoa. That's so much to take in, y'all. But this is gonna be the end of the video. For real, this is gonna be the end of the video. But how do y'all feel about the days getting shorter? Because I just remember them saying the days are getting longer. Now the days are getting shorter. I don't know. But y'all, it's so much stuff going on around the world. That's why it's just good for you to be grateful, live life to the fullest, live every day like it's your last day. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your neighbor that you love them. Make sure you let somebody know you love them every day. Make sure you let yourself know how much you're grateful for life, because you never know. Okay, so amen, say man. Y'all make sure to put y'all comments and everything y'all want to say in the down in the comments, and I'll make sure to see you in the next one.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack lounge.